Sykkuno had exactly one job: convince you he was the streamer who couldn't do this. Turns out that promise didn't survive 32 pages. Not the loudest, not the most chaotic, not the one starting beef for clout. Calm, soft-spoken, the internet's designated safe person? Turns out that was never just a personality, that was the entire business.
So, I'm just getting everything Oh, there's Jack. There's Jack with the giant mod, so he's very big. Alright, here we go. What do I do again? Oh, right, the engineer can vent even though I'm a crewmate.
Back in 2020, during the Among Us boom, Sykkuno pulled around 50,000 average viewers. That put him in the same conversation as the biggest names on the platform, but here's what set him apart from almost everyone in that conversation. Most of the big streamers of that era sold chaos. Drama, edge, main character energy, the sense that something unhinged could happen any minute. Sykkuno sold the opposite. He sold hours of nothing bad ever happening. No cruelty, no ego, no red flags. Just a guy who seemed genuinely kind. That's not a small thing to build a following on. The scene was flooded with people competing to be the most interesting. Being the most trustworthy, it was rarer. It was scarce. And scarcity is what makes something valuable. So when people call Sykkuno's image wholesome, they're not describing a vibe. They're describing his moat. The one thing competitors couldn't copy, because the second they tried to fake it, it would read as fake. He got the collabs because of it. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, sharing a screen with Valkyrae and Corpse Husband for charity, where Jimmy Fallon didn't book him for his gameplay. The Tonight Show put him on a live national broadcast, sharing a screen with Valkyrae and Corpse Husband, playing Among Us for charity, and trusted him not to say something they'd have to walk back the next morning.
Wait, Sykkuno's the other imposter! Sykkuno's the other imposter!
I was watching from the security camera.
Greg, look, I'm chasing Sykkuno right now! He is such an imposter! Ow! Oh my god! Get away from me!
Alright, so this is skill. So this is
The same map.
same map. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. You get to change the map. This is insane. Alright, I'm gonna play much better.
Oh, you're
Right,
gonna.
shoot.
It's gonna be a time when we switch.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
me too.
Jimmy.
Don't worry, Jimmy, we got you.
We got you, Jimmy. These guys bothering you, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Why'd you stand on a
Hey,
bench?
back up.
What? Wait, what?
Late Night doesn't hand a live mic to whoever's popular that week. It hands the mic to whoever's least likely to become a headline. The same reasoning got him onto a Discord call, live streamed on Bernie Sanders' channel, sitting next to Mark Hamill and Mark Cuban like it was nothing. Late night comedy and a sitting senator's platform. Two completely different worlds. And Sykkuno was the one streamer both of them trusted enough to hand the mic to. That's the tension sitting underneath all of it. The wholesome image wasn't just popular. Actual institutions were making bets on it being real. Here's the part barely anyone talks about. By the time this year's events happened, Sykkuno's viewership had already been sliding. Quietly, for years. Not a collapse. The slow fade that happens once a creator's breakout moment is a few years behind them. Which means whatever came next wasn't landing on a streamer at his peak, it was landing on someone already past it, right when his one differentiator was the only thing still propping him up. That's the setup. A creator whose entire value was, I am not a red flag, fading in relevance right before the internet found out the flag was there the whole time. On April 10th, 2026, a VTuber named HemomalVT published a 32-page document. Not a tweet, not a call-out video, 32 pages, with screenshots, payment records, and an audio recording attached. She opened with this. Sykkuno wasn't the calm, soft-spoken person people saw on stream. He was, in her words, a serial cheater, a liar, and a manipulator. One who used his status on women earlier in their careers than him. Women he knew he could take advantage of. According to the document, Hemomal's contact with Sykkuno started on Valentine's Day, 2026. It escalated fast. Within days, they were talking about meeting in person, moving in together, getting a pet. He allegedly sent her unprompted money and gifts early on, which she says she later recognized as a pattern, not generosity. The whole time, she claims, he had a live-in girlfriend of 5 years. Someone he was allegedly so careful to hide that he'd whisper on calls with Hemomal so his girlfriend wouldn't hear him from another room. Then there's Elphalea, a second woman named in the same document, who's on an off relationship with Sykkuno, allegedly spanned around 5 years, and who says she had no idea about the girlfriend either. The document claims he flew her to Paris for a TFT esports event, covered her food and hotel, and separately sent her 500 euros to help her move apartments. Two women, years apart, allegedly kept in the dark about the same relationship. Both allegedly kept close with money and attention. It didn't stop at 2. Within 48 hours, more women came forward. Lena said she'd dated him years earlier, between 2015 and 2019, and said she'd tried warning people at the time and got harassed for it. Yu said she started pulling away once she realized the age gap between them. This wasn't a lapse. The pattern was allegedly a system. Run for years, aimed at women earlier in their careers than he was, the exact people least likely to have the platform to call it out safely. Then on April 16th, Sykkuno responded. In a joint statement with his girlfriend, he confirmed he'd been unfaithful. He apologized to everyone he'd disappointed. He announced he was stepping away from streaming indefinitely. His girlfriend's portion said she was staying, that they'd already been working on things privately before it went public, and that the exposure made an already painful process harder. That's where the story should have quietly ended. Apology, hiatus, slow fade. Except turns out Sykkuno came back. June 3rd, he went live again, in a stream literally titled I'm Back, and told his audience he'd spent 2 months repairing things with his girlfriend, and that they were, in his words, doing a lot better.
Alright, well, I'm pretty nervous as you can guess. Alright, well, as most of you guys know, I've been gone for a bit. While I've been gone, I was working on myself and repairing the damage I've done to my girlfriend and our relationship. And what I did to her was horrible. And for a lot of people, they could never forgive that. I regret doing it so much. And in the time I've been gone, I've been working every single day to try and make things better. It hasn't been easy, but I'm glad to share that not everything's perfect. We made a lot of improvements, and we can confidently say that we're doing a lot better. We're in a position where we could be happy together, and we're headed in a good direction. I wouldn't be coming back to streaming if both of us didn't feel that way. You know, with everything that happened, a lot has changed, and I think I've grown a lot from it in so many ways. And also, of course, thank you to all my friends who, are still supporting me. I don't know if I would have done quite as well if I didn't have such supportive friends who really want the best for me. And I think I'm very lucky for that.
A few days later, on a separate broadcast, he said something more revealing than the apology itself. He had to choose, he said, between the people who wanted him gone forever and the people who still believed in him. And he chose the ones who still believed in him.
I thought it was important to come back and, just play games. It's not that crazy. Is that, there are a lot of people who still believe in me, who think changes can be made or have been made. And if I'm forced to choose, right, do I listen to the people that hate me and want me to be gone forever, or do I listen to the people who still believe in me and maybe see potential there? I choose the people that still believe in me and see that potential. So hopefully that explains what makes more sense here, because I have to choose at some point, Do I choose the people who hate me and listen to them? Or do I choose you guys who are still here and think there's a good chance they see that there's potential to change, make things better, and honestly just have a good time playing games again?
Sit with that phrasing. Not, I understand why people are upset. Not, trust takes time to rebuild. He framed it as a binary. Critics on one side, supporters on the other, and he picked a team. Like, the backlash was a fandom dispute instead of a response to what he'd allegedly done to multiple women over multiple years. That's the language of someone managing an audience, not someone sitting with consequences. Other creators noticed it too. Pokemon's response was blunt. She pointed out he was back after a month and a half, like nothing happened. When people take longer than that to get over far smaller situationships.
Actually, speaking of opinions, there is one thing I'm willing to share my opinion on. I saw Sykkuno's back after a month and a half. I've spent longer getting over situationships. I'm not joking. He said 3 sentences, few week vacation. I'm good. God bless. God bless.
Disguised Toast caught heat just for treating him like an adult capable of consequences instead of piling on. The reactions split exactly the way the wholesome image itself used to work. Some people still wanted the calm, safe persona to be real underneath all this. Some people finally saw it for what critics now call it, a performance. Here's the thing about building your entire identity on being the trustworthy one, it works like any scarce resource. Valuable because it's rare, and because people stop checking for it once they think they've found it. Nobody audits the guy who never gave them a reason to. That's not a flaw in the system. That's the appeal of it. And turns out it's also exactly what makes it exploitable. The safer someone seems, the less scrutiny they get. The less scrutiny they get, the more room there is to do something that requires never being scrutinized. Sykkuno didn't lose his career over cheating. Plenty of creators cheat, get dragged for a week, and move on because their appeal was never built on moral safety to begin with. Sykkuno's entire product was the promise that he was different from that. This wasn't a scandal landing on top of a brand, it was the brand's one selling point, disproven, in public, with receipts. And once that's gone, there's no chaotic streamer fallback persona to lean on because he never built one. He built exactly one thing. Turns out that one thing wasn't true. Maybe that's the real lesson buried in 32 pages. The internet forgives almost anything before it forgives dishonesty. But the one brand you can't rebuild once it cracks is the brand that was never about talent, or chaos, or charisma. It was about being the one person you didn't have to watch closely. And once you've proven people were wrong to stop watching, there's no version of I'm back that undoes it. If you think Sykkuno's I'm back was earned, drop a comment. If you think it's just PR on a 2-month timer, drop a comment too. Like the video, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Sensational.